Whoa, 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 wake up.
Wilmington.
Ohio.
45177. There you
Charlie
go.
had to think about that for a minute. He was
Yeah.
thinking about Sabina.
Counting the fingers.
What is Sabina's?
451 Rick.
Huh?
451 Rick.
The hell's that?
What are you looking at me for?
Rick.
451 Rick.
69.
Thank you.
Oh.
Come on, Jerry. Come on, how long have you been around?
I tell you, folks, we'd already say that we started to get down the rabbit hole. That was like 10 minutes ago.
We're on the fringe.
Before we were even on.
That's right. We've had our
And not only is my phone slow this morning, but I will.
our sugary donut high from Tom Breckel, bringing in donuts from where in Hillsborough?
Well, I went to White's Bakery because Coombs was closed this morning, and White's is one of the few places around that I can recall has a glazed Long John filled with Bavarian cream.
It was good, too. I have one. It was really good. Thank you, Tom, for bringing that stuff in.
Yes, thank you very
Tom
much.
is our EMA guy, and we got lots of EMA stuff going on in this stupid weather. But when we get to him, I got to ask him about another little email he sent about, a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. But we're going to get to that later. I think he scared everybody out there, everybody to the bejesus out
Oh,
of
is
them.
that the nuclear bomb attack?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yes, we
Some
need-
people need to chill out on their reading.
Half the year is over. Good morning, Dick Stifler. That's Big Dick Stifler out of Greenfield, Ohio. The stocks up. S&P even reached a record high so far. And guess what? One of the biggest gainers is in the S&P.
Trojan.
DG.
Oh.
DG.
So like Pokemon, what?
You see one around every corner. DG.
Oh, Dollar General.
Dollar General. Musk bashes tax bill. Did you see how many pages the tax bill was?
900 something?
940, and the Democrats made her read it.
Made him read it
I
every
guess
bit.
the Democrats were like not real excited though when they started talking about the difference between a man and a woman. That's in the bill.
Well, it took them 15 hours or something like that
Yeah.
to go through it.
So
by
was
the
it
way,
only Democrats that were reading it?
no,
I
it was
me, just the Democrats reading it.
no, it was the reporters for the Senate. Dollar General, by the way, is up 50% since February. That's a lot. Supposedly, the Congressional Budget Office says this great bill that we're supposed to be cutting spending, cutting the deficit,
Something like that?
3.3 trillion now. See, the Senate got in there and had to get their little
So it
claws
was since I last
into it.
heard.
Yeah.
And what's worse is the Democrats would even spend more.
Oh, of course.
And they would raise your taxes more.
Of course. Well, they weren't raising taxes. They were just cutting out Donald Trump's tax cuts.
Cuts, yeah.
So they wouldn't renew.
More of a redistribution to those that need it.
That's right, yeah.
Senate to vote today on this big, beautiful bill. So we'll see what happens. Trump says he has found buyers for TikTok.
What he says it's going to be a couple weeks and they're going to announce it.
So we'll see what happens there. The Bezos Sanchez wedding happened over the weekend in
Very
Venice.
green and environmental friendly wedding.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Take a guess how much the wedding cost.
50 million.
Higher by a little.
325 million?
No, 55 million.
55
Oh, okay.
million.
55 million.
Oh, there. It was a budget wedding.
That's right.
Yeah.
But guess how much it boosted the local Venetian economy?
A bit. Oprah was there.
Yeah. That's
175.
why.
Yeah.
Well,
Just the food.
It's 175 million.
more than that.
325 million?
More than that.
Wow.
Let's put it this way: it was more than last year's Super Bowl.
More than last year's Super Bowl.
Viewership or cost ads per minute? What's the reference?
No, just what it brought into the
To the economy in Venice.
Yes.
987 million.
You're getting closer.
$1 billion.
$1.1 billion.
Wow.
And they were still pissed with
Yeah,
all
they
the
were
stuff
still
they had to do
upset
with.
about.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and you know what's funny is, like Rick said, all that, helping the environmental way. Heck, everybody flew in on their private jets.
Yeah.
So don't give me that crap. Let's see. Yeah, the Super Bowl last year only brought in $1 billion. Beyonce's tour only brought in $4.5 billion, and Taylor Swift was somewhere around $7-8 billion.
Morning, Joe Holden.
July 4th.
A little hard, Taylor.
How many Americans you think will be traveling
Over the 4th of July?
For the fourth?
for the 4th? Hey, Joe.
25 million?
Higher.
75 million.
There you go. 72.2 million will be traveling.
Yeah, until the airlines all have to shut down. because the
How
computer
many
systems
by
are
now? Wait a minute. How many by car? I'm glad you said that. That leads me into my next question.
I would think travel would increase by cars than it did by airline because fuel prices are coming down and people are getting sick and tired of all that airport hassle.
Lowest fuel prices in 4 years. So,
Oh.
by car, would you like to render a guess?
But don't drive out to California and have to fill up out there.
Right.
First of all, people aren't going to California for the 4th of July. They're traveling from
Yeah.
California.
I'd say
$10
double
a
that.
gallon?
Double what you had, 75.
Well, no, 72.2 is what that is the total.
Oh, that's total.
Inside that total.
Oh, inside that total.
40 million traveling by car.
40 million more.
65 million.
61.
61.
61.6 by car.
And this is all an estimate, is that correct?
Yeah.
Charlie?
7.2 and 7.6 are the busiest
Sort of
travel
like that,
days.
1.2 liter or whatever.
Yeah. They say the average human releases 2.3 or 2.7 liters of gas a day.
And they complain about cows.
Those are rookie numbers. You really need to pump those up.
Let's see. Gas is lowest, like Tom just said. The gas is lowest it's been in 4 years. 2 big sporting events coming up this week. Wimbledon starts,
Yep, always on the 4th of July.
and the Tour de France starts up.
I like watching Tour de France, especially when they wipe out.
Yeah.
Well, they call that, don't they call that like the ball buster?
It depends on how you land.
I don't know about
Both men's and women's categories.
Well, are you guys all excited? It's Diddy Deliberations Day. P. Diddy is on trial and he now is going to the jury.
When you take away what he did and you look at just the RICO side, a lot of people are saying that they can't make the RICO case. So even though he is the type of person you think he is,
So explain to everybody what RICO is.
RICO, yeah, like I'm a criminal. So
Organized crime.
organized crime, and usually it involves going across state lines. That's how federal gets in
I
there.
think that's what, who was the
Gotti? No.
black prosecutor in Georgia that she tried to RICO Trump. She was trying to bring a RICO charge.
It wasn't
against Trump.
Stacey.
What was her name? How quick we forget when they get stomped into the ground, right?
But so even if they don't have the RICO, just they say the worst thing about it is just that stupid video in the hall where he's beating up his girlfriend. They said that's enough really to put him away for a while.
Yeah. See, how, are there going to be any charges come out of this against other people that were involved in some of the stuff that went on, or is this all him?
I'm glad you brought that up because, yes, they are going to release the names and all the charges along with the Epstein's client list. So that should be coming forth here just a couple of days or weeks. So just
Really? That'd be good. Jurassic World Rebirth starts Wednesday.
Rebirth?
That's the name of it, Rebirth. Tom Tillis, North Carolina senator, says he's done.
Well,
He's done. He's not going to run
pushed out by
again.
Donald Trump.
He's not going to run again. He said he just can't handle it. Which, I'll be honest with you, I have a little bit of a problem if we are actually raising the deficit 3.3 trillion. That wasn't the deal. It's like Rand Paul says.
That's not the reason. He did not bow out, or he did not object to additional money. He objected to cuts in what he called were to Medicaid and Medicare.
But that's just
that
cutting
was money
out.
that was going to illegals.
Yeah, if it's cutting out to the illegals, it should be cut out.
But he objected to that.
Well,
Plus, there's been other things that
I'm objecting to the spending. I mean, 3.3 trillion. Now, if that's the correct numbers.
I wouldn't vote for the budget, so I guess I'd be in trouble with
Well,
Donald too.
well, I would just. It's not so much. I know you gotta try to. There's no way you can make everybody happy,
Right.
and there's checks and balances. But I'm telling you, that it's like Rand Paul said. Now the Democrats won't get to own the big spending moniker anymore. It'll be the Republicans.
Well, everything is increased in price. So let me ask you this. Your household has X amount of dollars that you have coming in. How do you determine what your debt level is? What percentage over your annual rate do you consider as an okay debt load?
Just let me just see if I can figure this out here. Over what I make a year, how much of that would be?
You don't need money on credit cards, Charlie.
Yeah.
I don't have any control over it because I'm at the mercy of big business. Whatever they decide they want to charge, whatever they decide they want to change, ain't nothing I can do about it.
Well,
I'm at the mercy.
there's certain parts of big business that control that, or would control you. Things like utilities. You know, when you're talking about things that you can't live without, you got to keep lights on.
Right.
You got to be able to buy gas for your automobile so you can get to work.
Right.
So you can greet people at Walmart or whatever you're doing. Those are things you can't change, and you are at their mercy. And those are some of the things that are going up the fastest.
I'd say no more than 25%.
25%.
No more than that.
So what you receive in income per year, let's say
Yeah.
it's $100.
Yeah.
You can go in debt $25.
Yeah.
All right. So if we were to take what the country is currently in debt,
Are you going to try to
With
make
our
me feel better
GDP,
about this?
oh no, I'm trying to
Okay.
point out that we're beyond the curve. There's the likelihood of coming back is very
Right.
thin. Yeah, so we're
So
heading
do we
toward a
just
bad situation.
bankruptcy?
No,
we're
you
not gonna
can't.
bankrupt. We're just going to wash the debt. Who do we owe most of the money to?
China!
Well, we paid a great deal of those back.
We owe a lot of money to Japan, and probably more treasury money to Japan than anyone.
133%. Kevin's got it on there.
Well, yeah, because if you bought a house, think about it. Houses are expensive.
Right.
And if you start looking at what that actually comes to a household and you say, okay, if my average is, say, 325%, as an example,
Yeah.
and you look at the U.S.'s GDP and you times it by 325 and you get a number, you compare that number with what you just came up with and where we're currently at in debt,
We're way over that.
we're way over.
Way
How
over.
do we compare with other countries? That's the other question. For instance,
Does it really matter? I'm not paying actually I am paying other
are.
people's taxes.
we
So
are.
it's like that meme, Hamas shooting rockets and then Israel shooting interceptors. My tax dollars at work and somehow my tax dollars also at
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Well, you look at the world, our tax dollars are spread all over in so many different, and that's the whole point of Doge was to, pull back.
That's
some-
why Elon's all ticked off. He's not happy about this budget.
Yeah, because he eliminated all this debt with Doge, and they're putting it all back with their spending.
Just different areas. I mean, some of the cuts
Well,
that he made are good.
I
I mean,
know we have to spend money in certain areas in order to be able to for the economy to improve, and it's true. We can spend money in certain areas, and it will actually encourage more economic growth. But at the same time, how much of this are these pet projects that these congressmen and senators, or even the president, is trying to stick in there? Because ultimately, the more money we spend, the less our dollar is worth.
But then you have certain people now that are coming up and their behaviors and traits are changing because of the environment they live in. Fewer people are cooking, so more people are eating out. So they're paying a lot more and they're having less to spend on other things. So they tend to be living off credit cards. We're driving ourselves in debt. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of people are saying that they can't do any preparedness type actions is because they've got very little money left over. But when you look at what they're spending it on, it is stuff that maintains maybe a nominal sense of happiness on the inside or makes them feel kind of like I'm not in that bad of a shape versus going back to the way my parents lived. I mean, looking back, it's like, wow, we were kind of poor, but we were right there with other working class families. We didn't have all these fancy cars. We didn't go on fancy vacations. If we went on a road trip, we pulled off the side of the road. We had a picnic. I mean, our life was drastically different than it is here.
That's a generational thing, because if you look at the people that eat out today, they're younger people, they're professionals, the people that, they work in white collar jobs. They're not the guys that go to the, foundries and, these are people that, the world's changed as far as the U.S. and the way that we perceive things. And younger people today, they want to eat healthier. And so, obviously, there's more expense in that. I don't know whether it is healthy or not, but the point is, the perception is, at least as far as younger people are driving a lot of what we're seeing there as far as the eating out and that. And I think that the other thing is it's just a matter of time. You don't have time to sit down to a meal around the table like we used to do when we were younger. And is that good? Well, I don't know if it's
Probably
good.
not.
Well, it probably isn't. But at the same time, it's kind of hard to judge because once again, that's our generation versus the younger generation today. And if this is the way they choose to live, then so be it. But of course, the other problem is our generation probably propelled this generation into having to do a lot of the things that they do, simply because we've created the world they live in.
And with that, we'll come back. I got a couple more news items, and we'll go to our first break. Then after I get done with the news, we'll get right into EMA.
Are animals using your house as their new home? Spring is around the corner, and so is birthing season for wildlife. Give us a call today if you are hearing noises in your attic or under your house. Here at Diamondback Wildlife Extraction, we can take care of your wildlife removal needs and repairs. Nuisance wildlife can be very destructive to your house, such as chewing on or through electrical wiring and much more. Call us today to book an appointment for inspection at 937-302-6372. We strike back.
Roller Haven is located at 1640 U.S. Highway 22 Northwest, Washington Courthouse, Ohio, the perfect place for a day out with the family, birthday parties, and even an organization, event, or fundraiser. Check out our website, rollerhavenwch.com, or give us a call at 740-335-6481, and we can help plan your event. We look forward to seeing you there.
Forget the clown princes of basketball, the Harlem Globetrotters. There's a new all-star, family-friendly comedy polo team taking the sporting entertainment world by storm. The Equine Trots.
Bringing their highfalutin, high-kicking, mallet-swinging, horsey hijinks to an equestrian center near you.
I'm Amanda Martin.
And I'm Steve Burnett. Made up stories just like these.
As well as real news about what's coming to the Murphy.
Ohio's hometown theater in downtown Wilmington.
On the Murphy Report. News the way it's meant to be delivered.
In less than 30 minutes, or it's free.
The Murphy Report. Find us on the Murphy Theater website and our YouTube channel with a brand new report every Monday morning.
Amanda, my buddy Sam was recently tossed from his own horsey all the way across the arena, landed in a soft bale of hay right next to another horse that was already asleep.
Oh my, that sounds dangerous. What's his condition?
Stable.
The Murphy Report.
Remember, if it's news to you,
it's news to us.
And we're back. A couple more news items here, and then we'll get a little EMA. F1, I'm sorry, F1, the movie F1. Brought in how much you think this weekend?
40 million.
More.
Oh, wow.
52?
More?
75.
Not that much.
Cost 200 and some million to produce.
55.6 million. That's an Apple movie. They're declaring their first hit.
And while Brad Pitt was out promoting the movie, his house was robbed and ransacked.
That's right.
Really?
You would think he'd have people
He
there.
felt violated. Imagine that. He felt violated.
You do feel violated when you get robbed. I've been
Well,
robbed
wasn't he one
before.
of those outspoken libtards that said, defund the police?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Tesla delivered, listen to this one, guys. Tesla delivered their first car autonomously.
Yes.
That's crazy. Guess how many cancellations Delta had this weekend because of weather?
4,000.
Not quite.
Talking about the number of flights?
Flights cancellations.
1,200?
U.S. or worldwide?
U.S. Between 1,200 and 4,000.
3,800.
2,800. 2,800. That's a lot. 15 different tornadoes down south yesterday. Plus, down at Atlanta's airport, they had to go out and comb over 100 planes to check for hail damage. So, had a bunch of hail at Hartsfield Airport there. I think that's all I have.
Did you hear about where that crazy dude set a brush fire and then ambushed?
Shot him, yeah.
ambushed the
Yeah.
first responder firefighters. Yeah.
Yeah.
2 dead, one, yeah,
One in critical condition.
2 dead, 1 in critical condition, and went through at least 1 surgery last night, and they did find the shooter dead. Of course, I haven't seen a public statement up to this point on if he was shot by someone else or if he offed himself.
I bet he offed himself. That's what I'm
False
betting.
flag.
That's what I'm betting.
CIA.
Hey, that's the easy way out, you know. Well, so, Mr. Bregel, you've been sending out your alerts and you've been doing a great job. One day you missed it. One day, Saturday, a couple Saturdays ago.
Although I didn't like that 3 a.m. Amber Alert. Woke me up.
I don't do Amber Alerts. And you can turn those off on your phone, too.
So I take all that back that I said about the
Yeah. So if you're anti-child safety, you can turn that off. I can show you.
Well, I want it delayed, so it doesn't until I get up in the morning. Then it goes off. Can we do that?
Or put your phone on silent.
Well, I can't do that because then I wouldn't get the alert.
And get to complain about it. No, it was funny because I saw even a couple people on Facebook commented about the one alert you sent out after we'd bombed Israel, and it come out saying that
Technically, we did not bomb Israel. We bombed Iran.
Iran. I'm sorry, Iran.
Iran.
I apologize. I don't know why I said Israel. Iran, yeah. So when we bombed Iran, all these things started coming. But yours, everybody just kind of, I think you took everybody's wind out of their sails a minute. It's like, I never thought I'd receive one of these in the United States.
Well, that's because we tend to live, I don't want to say a sheltered life, but we don't really see what's going on out there. For better or for worse, I've had the opportunity, a lot of people have in military service, been out and seen things beyond the borders of this country.
I
And
think a lot of that, though, has to do with our press. People do not realize that if you don't go out there and look at some other newspapers, like in other countries, you'll never learn about what's really going on in this country. And that's the best way. Look at a British paper or look at a French paper.
I like watching some of the foreign news networks sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, because what they report on as far as what's going on in the U.S. is totally different than what we get here in the U.S. Sad, but that's.
So did you get any pushback on that, or anybody?
I didn't get any pushback because my board would be the ones that would push back on me, on that type of thing. So when I wrote that, I didn't write it from a standpoint as to there's a target on Clinton County. What I was trying to submit the folks is that we're getting possibly into a time when people need to be a little bit more aware of their surroundings, aware of things that are going on. Because in our community, right or wrong, we don't have really any big targets. So what we have are metro areas with transportation. It's not as big of a target as you would think.
I think the airbase would be a big target. And right pad, obviously.
Right, but that's not in our county. That's a ways out. So if someone is going to one of those other locations, there is a possibility that they could be transiting through our area. Day to day, we see things that we're used to. We kind of see, and we're like, yeah, that's Bob doing that. That's Jimmy doing that, and that's little Cindy. But if you see something that looks a little out of, little not quite right, ask yourself a couple of questions. Is this someone that someone needs to know and look at and determine that that's not going to be something that's going to be a threat or cause someone else to lose their life somewhere else? And that's really all it was. Fortunately, some people read it through the lens as to, oh no, Iran is specifically coming to Clinton County because they are really mad at what the Orange Man did, and we're going to pay for it. Clinton County is not the pointed end of the spear.
I didn't catch the. I read it more as a national thing, not as a Clinton County thing.
Right, and I was just writing our perspective that if we did have something that would be a concern, it would probably be something infrastructure related. But there's other places that are easier targets, and if we're more aware and we're reporting more things that don't look or look right, that will make our target locations, if we had any, a lot harder and force them to go somewhere else.
Desirable to attack.
Right.
Well, do we have anything to worry about? Because I keep hearing just off and on through social media and TV that there's something big coming for July 4th. Have you seen or heard anything?
Well, it depends on what perspective you're looking for. There's a lot of different groups of people.
Stuff.
Well, all right. I
Not
think
necessarily planes crashing into buildings, but something, a major terror attack.
I think that's someone somewhere trying to get that message out so that if it does happen, they can say, look at what I did, and they can pull eyeballs. A lot of the stuff, news and whatever, is to try to pull eyeballs. What I think is likely to be on the 4th of July is we're seeing some discussions about protest. They're trying to drum things up. The biggest protests we saw were in the larger metro areas, mostly out west in Los Angeles. We didn't have that much violence in some other areas. They had some issues with the optics of all the different foreign flags. So then you started seeing people bringing out American flags to that protest. And unfortunately, what happened? They started burning a couple of those different flags. So I think they saw what went on there and what it cost them with the American people. And now they're trying to retool it and come up with something to help fight against this movement, fight against the current administration. And unfortunately, a lot of times when you look at the different signs, you have a lot of different groups that are represented. It is not one homogenous, cohesive group. It's just a bunch of smaller fractions that are coming out. And then the media, when they're reporting on it, saying this mostly peaceful protest is of a certain size, but to business leaders, they have their businesses being damaged, the people that are being inconvenienced and can't drive through there, it is not peaceful. No. It is threatening, especially if you're in a car and you're just trying to get to a medical appointment or get to work, and you got people beating on your car. That is not the way Americans should behave.
No.
And I think we're making that too acceptable, and that is going to lead to some larger problems as we continue down the line, possibly closer to 2030.
So what, if you see anything, are you hearing anything for the protests, but what about, like you kind of mentioned, like, what was the term we kept using last week? It was a new term I heard and read on here. Is like something fair. Like, what was it? You remember, Jerry? I'll have to look it up.
Talking about the hacking?
Yeah, hacktivists. That's what it was. Yeah. Hacktivists. Do you think we're going to have a lot of hacktivist stuff going on?
We've had hacktivist problems for a long time.
Yeah.
Well, wait, don't. I'm going to change that. I don't want to say problems. There's been a hacktivist community since there have been telephones. There used to be people that would do phone phreaking. They could do certain sounds when they would pick up a phone, and it would change the relay settings, and they can make phone calls. Yeah. So as long as someone has had some means of being able to remote to somewhere else. There have been people trying to exploit the system. Go to the kid in Dayton that was on his bus, and it took him as much time to go through 3 stoplights as it did to go across town to get to the school. He used his computer, hacked into the traffic system, fixed the algorithms on the lights, and the lights were now much more effective. They're charging him with hacking, but all the people that are with the company and the system for that, they said, this guy fixed the problem that we couldn't.
Hire this kid.
Wow, that's crazy. Stephanie Morton's watching, the Cookie Queen. We need to have you on sometime when we have Stephanie Morton cookies here. You will thank us.
Okay.
You might even give up Diet Coke for these cookies.
Don't be silly. Don't be.
No,
Now,
I'm telling you, they're good.
I'm a sucker for a good snickerdoodle or a good oatmeal, but no nuts or raisins. That's just.
She makes it good.
She does chocolate chip with butterscotch chip with sea salt in it.
I don't do chocolate. I don't do peanut butter.
You're un-American, dude.
Oh, Kevin Martin, by the way, you came closest to what the percentages of the U.S. debt to GDP ratio.
Who's he saying hi, Hannah?
Jerry's shirt. 133%. We looked up 122%. Don't block the road in front of me. It will not turn out too well for you.
A lot of states now, it's legal to run someone over. You see that thing on Facebook with that lady that got run over and was underneath the car, and her leg was twisted back and all that?
Oh, yeah.
A brief legal statement. Wake Up Wilmington is not advocating the running over of people in the mornings, just the afternoons. Oh, and if you happen to be near Charlie's, stop on by for a free donut. Rick could use a high five.
We got some donuts in here. Yeah, they're good. I saw the woman in the boat. I think I was in Venice over there. And this guy, it's like one of the guys that's like the taxi boat things.
Mm-hmm.
He just kept on going, ran right into her. She's already fallen out of the boat. It was really quite comical, to be honest.
Good morning, Joanne.
So, yeah, I don't know. But you don't think there's, what do you think the next big terror thing will be?
Terrorists want media coverage. They want to instill fear. They want to put their politics out there. So your large metro areas are going to be the places that have a lot of that. You're not going to see that in a small rural community.
Right.
But
You think it'd be internet, though? You think it would be, what'd you say, Rick?
Grid?
Huh?
You talking about the grid?
Yeah, you think they'll try to take out the grid, or what do you think?
if the grid is out, then you can't watch TV and you can't get scared.
So not the grid.
I mean, you've seen some examples. There's Metcalf, California, where they have the first attack on the substation with AK-47s. Then you had down to Carthage, North Carolina. They attacked 2 different substations. It was actually the way it was designed. One substation caused that long-term darkness. The other substation really didn't impact because of the way the grid was set up for whatever reason. So it wasn't as effective. Now, there's a lot of people saying, well, Fort Bragg's not far away. There's a lot of special forces people that supposedly live in that area. It was something trying to set up, look at what was going on there, try to set up something. Regardless of what happens, you can have a postal worker walking across the street and gets hit by a car. That car is driven by someone that has a certain skin color and drives away. Then someone will say, that was a demonstration attempt trying to impact the mass communications capability of our country and to sow fear in our government. Well, it was an accident. It's just anything that happens, some people can wrap it and everything into something much larger than it really isn't. And a lot of times it's our fault because we want something sensational. That's why the news,
Clickbait.
yeah, they don't give you stuff leading up to it. They wait until it happens and then they're like, hey, look at this horrible thing that's going on. The shooting that was up there in Idaho, that happened about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, about our time, about 4 o'clock p.m. And we didn't start seeing it on the news until maybe about 7 p.m. locally. But there were a lot of internet, what do they call it? We're apolitical. We're not promoting anything, whatever. There's a lot of different channels out there that are doing news type coverage that were doing a lot better job than what you would see from the legacy type media.
Absolutely.
But then you got a few out there that are just completely off to whatever spectrum and they're trying
I'll
to
tell you
promote
what, our little news I put on every morning here It's funny because I'll see the same thing on major news networks
Mm-hmm.
a day or two later. And it's like, we already said that. That's old news, you know. But you don't foresee. I'm just curious. You would have more of a sense of this than us, I think, because you deal with emergency management things, and you probably hear more whether you want to or not.
Well, you're probably going to get more of a wider perspective coming from law enforcement. Law enforcement is seeing a lot of things. Again, everyone sees things through a certain perspective, and depending upon where that perspective is, determines if it's a little bit more informed or a little bit more guesswork. And law enforcement can give you a lot more in terms of locally, these are the things that we're seeing. These are crime type things. These are things that could be of a threat. Plus, they're also tied in through the different fusion groups. So there's a Greater Cincinnati Fusion Center. We're tied in with them. So any intelligence for anything that's going on, like when we had our issue with the cell phones, being able to dial 911, we sent that down there immediately just to make sure that it wasn't impacting some other areas.
That was just our county, or
That
was
was
that
just our
everywhere?
county. It was a piece, from what I'm led to believe, and again, I'm catching this second and third hand, is that it was a piece of equipment that went down inside of a cell tower. So if you had a cell phone, that is why they were having issues being able to dial 911.
Affected too in Highland County.
Dave Bushelman, the EMA director out there, indicated that they didn't have anything at that point in time. Now, if it changed and he didn't shoot back to me, I wouldn't be aware on that. But I try to share anything that is happening in our county with our neighboring EMA directors, because if they can confirm, hey, yeah, we're seeing something also, then that starts to indicate that there's a trend, that this isn't just a local thing, this is maybe getting a little bit bigger, and it gives them a heads up. And I hope that if something happens, they do the same also for us. We're an indicator type county because we've got I-71 going through, so we have a lot of traffic that's going between the two Cs that are going there. We have some people live in our community that are military, tied in with Right Pat. So there's another potential. We have an air park. So we have a lot of different things in here that, while we are considered a rural type county, we're a couple notches a little different from most other rural counties. So when we see things that are a little askew, I try to check out with some others and just see if I'm the only one seeing that or if it's a bigger concern.
All right, and with that, we're late for break. We'll go ahead and take it, and when we'll come back, we'll talk some more EMA. I want to ask you about these cameras the county's putting in, too, when we get back.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the game is actually over before you storm the court. Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Donuts. Getting a makeover and a name change.
It's every baker's nightmare. Buckling to the snowflake social media pressure, America's tasty glazed treats will now be known as doughy, emotionally compromised yeast rings.
I'm Amanda Martin.
And I'm Steve Burnett.
Why wait for real news when you can get all the made-up news you need?
Along with the facts about Ohio's hometown theater, the Murphy.
On the Murphy Report. Find us on the Murphy Theater website and our own YouTube channel with a brand new report every Monday morning.
I have tried so hard to cut back on my daily doughy, emotionally compromised yeast rings intake.
Really, Steve? No one has noticed. And I mean no one.
The Murphy Report. Remember, if it's news to you,
It's news to us. Local museum presenting workshops on aging, yet they won't offer a senior citizens discount.
pass the cottage cheese and applesauce. It's time to stop the irony.
I'm Amanda Martin.
And I'm Steve Burnett.
Made up stories we'll get to the bottom of.
And some stories we're on top of, if that's your preference. In-depth, behind-the-scenes coverage.
Can only be found on The Murphy Report. Visit us at themurphytheater.org and our own YouTube channel with a new report every Monday morning.
Hey, Amanda, speaking of old, did you know that I recently celebrated a birthday?
I did, Steve. Who do you think called the fire truck when we lit up the cake? Did you make a wish before you hosed down all those candles?
I did. I wished only good fortune for all of my coworkers.
And yet you're still here.
The Murphy Report. Remember, if it's news to you,
It's news to us.
Let's get personal. Let's get personal. Sunday nights with your host, Dr. Hot Dog Jeffrey Schussler,
Selling the cart?
and Sarah Play Me Like a Piccolo Fife. They will be trying to help out all the interpersonal dating relationships between not only young people, but the geriatric edition and the Sasquatch edition.
You would expect that from Schussler since he sent that message. He posted that message on Facebook, but most of the people that responded from yesterday's post were older.
See, I think the
interest in the 40, 50 and up.
I think the geriatric edition's the way to go. There.
Oh my.
Well, it's a little different in that crowd because friends with benefits means they can drive after dark.
Got that right. Hey, did you see the comment that Dick Stifler said that the Statue of Liberty?
Statue of Liberty might be a target.
But you know, if you're talking some of those terrorists, they're more interested in how much human damage they can do rather than to a monument or something like
I don't
that.
know. If you think about certain monuments that obviously would represent freedom and the things that the USA stands for, taking out the Statue of Liberty, or taking out, the Washington Monument, or taking out, the Lincoln Memorial.
But when you start looking at the complexity, all right, you're a bad guy, you're going to do something, you're a bad guy, and you're a bad guy, and you each are going to do something, you're your own cell. What's going to be more effective and easier to do without getting caught or killing yourself? Making a bomb, filling a large vehicle with a whole bunch of mass and drive up on the sidewalk and poof,
Running people down.
or trying to do like go out and buy guns and do a mass shooting. So what you're finding is these people with vehicles, they're a lot more effective and get caught left or interdicted before the operation than the other stuff.
Today is the Corvette's birthday.
1953, the first Corvette rolled off the assembly line.
I miss the curves off the old one. The early 70s, the Stingray.
Yeah.
They looked sexy.
Yeah.
Even the ones back in the 60s had a certain look kind of to them and stuff. Nowadays,
My favorite's the split
Well, my
window.
78, which was a sort of a copy of the old with the bubble in the back. Yeah.
Yep. I tell you this,
25th anniversary edition.
the mid-engine Corvettes, they were pretty cool. That's the new ones are they're mid-engines. Yeah.
Well, first off, I can never afford one, not without doing something very, very illegal. But they just don't seem to have the same look and feel as the early ones.
The early ones were like banana boats. You felt every bump in the road. They were not by any stretch.
But you look good when you hit every bump on the road.
Driving it, and you pass another Corvette, and you go, give them that.
The mid-engines, they look more like almost your Ferraris.
My
and stuff like that.
78, when I bought it brand new, was $12,200.
That's funny because I had a 78 Corvette at one time too. Silver anniversary edition. It was
That's right.
silver.
Now, I didn't have the Indianapolis Pace Car edition. I had a red one with a oyster interior, but it was that year that was.
Mine was silver and black.
Yeah, well, that would be Indianapolis. Yeah. And they had those weird seats that supported your lump, underneath your.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the 78 anniversary.
Now I doubt I could even get in one.
I don't think out of all the cars I've owned, I don't think I've ever owned a Corvette.
I've owned a Corvette. I had a '67 Camaro.
People in the family that's got them, but I
time. Well, I tell you what. Let's take a little switch here. Jerry, do you have any today in history?
Oh yeah.
Didn't give you any.
Today's today.
Wasn't it?
Today's today.
Today's today in history.
With detail.
Some details.
Since we brought up the Corvette, and that goes along with today's.
Some details. In 1859, Charles Blondin became the first person to cross Niagara Falls on a tightrope. Yeah, I'm the one.
Who did?
Charles Blondin.
Can you imagine doing that?
Huh?
Karen's had 3 Corvettes.
Oh. Yeah, they aren't comfortable with this. Yeah. In 1894, Korea declared its independence from China and asked for Japanese aid. In 1908, a meteor explosion in Siberia knocked down trees for a 40-mile radius and struck people unconscious, some up to 40 miles away. This is International Asteroid Day, by the way.
International Asteroid Day?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that asteroid,
Name an asteroid.
I don't know.
YR 2024 that is going to be hitting Earth somewhere around the 13th of February 2032.
I don't know.
Yeah,
So-
I'm worried about that one.
So my recommendations to you right now, book an appointment at Carlos and Johnny's for Valentine's Day on 2034. And if it hits, you're out. You don't have to be out money. And if it doesn't hit, then you're celebrating.
That's right.
But that asteroid never hit the Earth. It exploded. It blew up like 3 miles high,
Yeah, it's sort of like a.
and it's still the.
Yeah,
it was
still
crazy.
do damage because it's sort of like the bombs that.
In 1936, Margaret Mitchell's book *Gone with the Wind* was published. I don't know when it became a movie, but in 1950, U.S. President Harry Truman ordered U.S. troops to Korea and authorized the draft. I got a note on here to say something to Tom about the fridge
That's our
cigarettes.
next step, right?
And in 1953, the first Corvette
That's
rolled off the
2024.
Chevrolet assembly line in Flint, Michigan. And take a guess what the first one sold for.
$2,800.
We're close.
What did
The
we get?
first Corvette, what did they sell for?
$29.99.
You're closer. Go ahead.
2859.
No, $32.50.
Ah,
$32.50.
$32.50 for a new Corvette.
So where were
1950.
Corvettes manufactured recently? Most
California.
Bowling Green, Kentucky is a big place, isn't it? Don't they manufacture them there?
California now.
None in Bowling Green anymore?
No, I don't think so.
I thought Bowling Green was where they manufactured. That's all they were known for in Bowling Green, Kentucky, making Corvettes.
In the Corvette Museum,
Yes.
which had a bad accident one time. 3rd floor fell in or something. Remember that?
Yeah, the floor just gave way and went in a sinkhole. In 1958, the U.S. Congress passed a law authorizing the admission of Alaska as the 49th state in the Union. In 1962, Los Angeles Dodger Sandy Koufax pitched his first no-hitter in the game with the New York Mets. In 1970,
How many hits were in that game?
have no idea. In 1970, Cincinnati Reds moved to their new home at Riverfront Stadium.
Riverfront.
In 1971, the Soviet spacecraft Soyuz 11 returned to Earth. The 3 cosmonauts were found dead inside. And they all died of asphyxiation because they had a valve failure, and 2 valves released at the same time, and it created a vacuum in the capsule.
That'd be a heck of a way to go,
Yeah.
wouldn't it? Jeez.
go with that.
104 miles up. That's when it malfunctioned.
Well, you probably wouldn't know. It probably happened so fast.
So they died within 40 seconds.
Yeah. Sort of like that submersible that went down into the ocean.
Yeah.
And the bad thing is, here's the thing was, they weren't wearing any kind of pressure suits. They were just in the spacecraft, and they were at the mercy of the surrounding pressures. If they'd have had spacesuits on, or pressure suits, they'd have been all right. But that was...
Protection. Is that what you're saying, Jerry?
Yeah, the Soviets, they went with they went with the pressure
Raw.
suits
They went
after.
raw.
Yeah, they were. They weren't commando, but they were close. In 1971, the 26th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution was ratified when Ohio became the 38th state to approve it. The amendment lowered the minimum voting age to 18.
Yeah, that was one of the other mistakes we made, that with the women voting.
Well, I mean, if you're drafting people and you can go fight and die for your country, don't you
Should
have
be able
a
to
right to
vote,
vote
yeah.
on which way they
now
go?
everybody, they're making such a big deal about these age gaps, where in particular, what they're really going after is old men and young women, this age gap thing. And they said, that we've now got young women that are saying, well, you're not even mature, when you're, 20, 21, 20. And I'm thinking, why the heck are you voting? If you can't make a informed decision.
But that goes back to how you're raised. There are some very mature people I've met, and there are some people that got a trophy for every event they've been in because it's participation.
As far as like voting, based on taking an IQ test or a maturity test or anything like that. So you got to do it for the general public. And if they're saying about themselves, we can't make informed consent, and we also can't, make decisions about how we should vote. Why should they be voting? Or driving a car for that matter. Let's make the age 20, 28, 30, whatever. That would be a lot better. Just think about all the money we'd save too, because how many young people are in automobile accidents the first year that they drive? They're actually trying to say that old people are in more accidents. I don't believe that. I think that's
When you're looking at the type of accidents that they're involved in, a lot more speed-related accidents are associated with younger kids because they're looking at their device and they're not paying attention.
Right.
Older people may be involved in more accidents because
Fender benders.
they're not. I mean, go in front of most doctors' offices to see older people, and you got those little parking guards. They're all kind of tilted inwards a little bit.
Yeah. In 1994, the U.S. Figure Skating Association stripped Tonya Harding of her 1994 national championship and banned her from the organization for life for an attack on rival Nancy Kerrigan.
Was that a baseball bat, Jerry?
No, it wasn't a
it?
baseball bat.
It was a
tire iron.
Huh?
Tire iron.
Tire iron, yeah.
That's classic.
Yeah, tire iron. And was that her ex-husband or
Boyfriend, something Gilly or whatever, and his friend.
I watched the movie, but it's been too long ago.
So yeah, back in the day, we didn't take a knee; we took a knee.
Yeah.
Don't cross me.
In 1998, officials confirmed that the remains of a Vietnam serviceman buried in the Tomb of the Unknowns at Arlington National Cemetery was identified as those of Air Force pilot Michael J. Blassie. And in 2000, U.S. President Clinton signed the e-signature bill to give the same legal validation to an electric signature as a signature with pen and ink.
Now we use them all the time.
Auto pen.
It was an asp.
Yeah, what does that mean, Dickie? An asp?
What is an asp?
Asp is a small venomous.
Not ass. Asp.
Yeah,
He's talking about the snake.
it's a snake.
Snake. That's silly.
Or it could be
Sound like
it's
law
a-
enforcement.
Yeah.
Like
it's
a little club.
It's like a PR-24 or whatever they are.
Oh, Billy Club.
Only it don't have. Yeah, it don't have the extra handle
I
on it.
like
Big
the tire
club.
idea better. Let's just say it was a tire.
All right. Well, you guys realize that we're officially halfway through the year now.
Yeah.
So I have to give you a little quiz about half. All right. So with the end of half one rapidly approaching, we're going to do halvesies in today's trivia. The answers to the following clues all contain the word half in them. Can you go 5 for 5?
Yeah, there you go. Half.
There we go. How oysters may be presented at Happy Hour.
Half
shell.
There you go. Snape's nickname when he was a student at Hogwarts. The half.
A breed?
No, wait a minute. I'll give you a hint. The half BP.
BP, like British Petroleum?
Yep. The half B.
Half boy Prince.
Prince is right. The Half Bee Prince.
Bastard.
No.
Big boy.
That's what I was thinking.
Half what?
Bitchin'.
No.
Bitchin', yeah, that would be good. The half bitchin' prince.
Suicide? That's an S. That's not a B.
No, but what comes out?
Blood. There we go.
Half-blood
The Half-Blood Prince. There you go.
Huh.
I don't know this one either, but I'll try to
It's a
give
long
you
ways
hints.
to go for that one.
I know.
Well, I am assuming the intelligence of our panel here. See, there you go.
You assumed wrong.
Jacob Rice groundbreaking book on New York City slums in the 1880s.
Concrete Jungle?
No, it's how the blank,
How the West was won.
how the blank lives.
Other half.
The other half lives. There we go.
So that's what police officers carry, apparently.
Yeah, long metal rod. Okay, here we
That
go.
was my nickname in high school.
Long metal rod.
Oh, that was the guy that
Def
did
Galooly, yep.
the dirty deed.
All right.
Martin's on it.
Organic Valley and Land O'Lakes, among others, make this product.
Butter,
Half butter.
margin,
It's
Half and
has
half.
Half and half. There you go. Half and half.
ole and free.
Yeah, only.
A Ben and Jerry's flavor with chocolate chip cookie dough and fudge brownie.
Half and half?
To me, this sounds
disgusting.
to me this sounds more like a chicken.
Sounds disgusting. Half baked.
Half baked. That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah, half baked. See, he gets my hints. There you go. All
I
right.
gotta stop doing that too, because that just encourages him that much.
He's getting validation from you.
Our word of the day is. I'm gonna ask you. How would you pronounce that?
I'm going to put my glasses
Put
on.
your glasses on.
Uh-oh.
Get serious here.
Fancy. F-A-N-C-Y.
No, not- it's
Fancy.
the one before there.
Oh,
I got fancy.
fete?
Fet, yeah, it's
Fet?
like that, isn't it? Fet,
Fet?
fatty or fet? It's F-E-T-E, but
There's
it's
a
not
little
feet.
weird.
It has a
fada.
umlaut, right? Isn't that what that's called? Umlaut.
So umlaut
Or
is,
carrot.
isn't that,
What?
A fet.
Fet.
All right, so
It's like Boba Fett, but you're talking about like time.
yeah, the word of the day is fet, a fancy way of saying celebration or festival. So July 4th, we are just going to have a fet, good time.
As opposed to my wife who has a fit when I don't take my shoes off.
Or feet, yeah, F-E-T-E, like a feet. But anyhow,
the feet about the same?
it is 9 o'clock, so we'll take our next break, and when we come back, we'll do the birthdays and the games.
Must we?
Heck yeah, we had fun with that trivia. See, I got you warmed up.
Oh, is that?
Labor analysts have done the math. If God used union workers to create the world, just how long would it take?
6 days and a day of rest? Hardly. Experts say we might still be under construction, but at least we'd be on more solid ground.
I'm Amanda Martin.
And I'm Steve Burnett.
Made-up stories just like these are what we're about on The Murphy Report, with a new report every Monday morning on the Murphy Theater website and our YouTube channel.
Plus all the real news about what's coming to the Murphy Theater.
Ohio's hometown theater in the heart of downtown Wilmington.
Hosted by veteran anchors Vanessa Del Rey and Breck Stone. It's news you might lose. But if you do, we'll find it, we'll pick it up, we'll roll it up, and we'll stick it back in your front screen door.
That sounds more like a newspaper, Steve.
This isn't a newspaper?
The Murphy Report.
Remember, if it's news to you,
It's news to us. Nursery rhyme historians uncover the truth about Jack and Jill.
there was no hill to climb, and new clues cast doubt on there ever being a pail. What could be next? The tortoise and the hare living together?
I'm Amanda Martin.
And I'm Steve Burnett. The nursery rhymes may be made up, but the only thing made up here is the news.
That's right, Steve. On The Murphy Report. With a new report every week beginning Monday morning on the Murphy Theater website and our YouTube channel.
Hard-hitting, cutting-edge, and a third less fulfilling.
With veteran news anchors Vanessa Del Rey and Breck Stone.
A combined 415 years in the news business.
It's made-up news you can count on to get you through your day.
And put you to sleep at night, just like me with my warm milk and cookies. and a plethora of heart-related medications.
Plus all the real news on what's coming to the Murphy Theater.
Ohio's hometown theater in downtown Wilmington.
That's on the Murphy Report.
Remember, if it's news to you,
It's news to us.
Are animals using your house as their new home? Spring is around the corner, and so is birthing season for wildlife. Give us a call today if you are hearing noises in your attic or under your house. Here at Diamondback Wildlife Extraction, we can take care of your wildlife removal needs and repairs. Nuisance wildlife can be very destructive to your house, such as chewing on or through electrical wiring and much more. Call us today to book an appointment for inspection at 937-302-6372. We strike back.
You're back.
We're back eating donuts again. Ooh, look at these babies. Ooh.
Tom outdid himself this morning.
Yep. Tom the man.
Yes, I know I shouldn't be eating them before anybody says anything. All right, here we go. Local birthdays today. We've got Monica Curry, Jim Barnett, Chris Flint, Tim Hatton, Joe Wills. You know how Bill Lehrman always talks about Bill Wills. Well, Joe's his brother. Greg Grove, Felicity Chilelo. Just kind of rolls off the tongue. Chilelo. Todd Williams' birthday was Sunday. Rhonda Crumb's birthday was Sunday. Jerry's fellow councilman. And Ty Matthews was Saturday. Now, we do have some celebrity birthdays today.
Mine was in March.
I know. Mine was just this past month.
Cole Swindell, singer, country singer. How old's Cole Swindell?
Haven't a clue who he is.
Country singer.
Country
Is he an
singer.
old one? Well, I mean, like country or country.
New country or old country? Is
Yeah.
that what you're saying? I think he's
To
old
help
country.
you out with your guessing, medium country.
Like Conway. All right, so it's not Conway Twitty.
48.
48 is high.
33.
33 is low.
40.
40 is low.
44.
Bracketed.
Between 40 and 44?
Yep,
42.
yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome. David Allen Greer. No one can answer except Rick.
Are we talking someone that might be related to the greatest football team in the land?
No, David Allen Greer.
In living color?
Yeah, yeah.
Why would I know that? Jerry, tell me.
Why do we always let you answer first?
Oh, you mean his age, 69.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. 69. There you go.
Plus, on this whole group, you're probably the most soulful.
Oh, that's true.
Fantasia. She was on like American Idol. She was in The Color Purple. Singer, actress, Fantasia. Free Yourself was one of her hits.
It's a very colorful person.
Yes.
38.
Higher, but you're in the ballpark.
42.
Just a little bit high.
41.
41. There you go. Michael
Tom keeps
Phelps.
setting up those wiffle balls.
Michael Phelps. I'm kind of surprised
Swimmer?
I'm
Swimmer?
surprised he's this old.
Why? Why?
Well, I just didn't think he was this old.
41.
41 is just a little bit high.
40.
40, yep.
There he goes, setting it up again.
Mike,
I get the assist.
Mike Tyson.
Oh, he's real young.
He was just on TV this morning. I want to say 54.
Higher,
60.
just a little bit high.
59.
59. Oliver Anthony, singer, did Rich Man north of Richmond.
Rich man north of Richmond.
I'm going to go 42.
Lower. Red-haired guy. This was like a Trump campaign song.
It's a good song. I'll play it for you after.
38.
Too high.
32.
Just a little low.
33.
33. Here we go. Cody Rhodes, wrestler, son of the American Dream. Dusty Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes.
Yep.
29.
Higher.
If he isn't,
38.
Huh?
38.
Higher, but in the ballpark.
if his name isn't Ric Flair, it doesn't count. I want to say 52.
Lower.
46.
Lower.
41.
Just a little bit high.
40.
40. There you go.
You said that with such command.
There you go.
Now,
Bill Learman.
Yeah, that was a Bill Lerman right
was
there.
and
I got a breaking announcement too.
I'm not right on that. Ric Flair and the Andersons were related, right? Arn Anderson and
I
them.
can't remember.
That was the Minnesota Wrecking Crew, right?
Yeah. Because I was thinking, was Ric Flair related to Dusty Rhodes?
And
I
they
don't
thought we
think
just
so.
had you on here because of your emergency management
I know
skills.
Seaburn, I know EM, and apparently I know wrestling.
Apparently,
Well, and
wrestling.
speaking of wrestling, there's live professional wrestling this weekend out at Cedar Creek Flea Market.
Is this those
wrestling.
midgets again? Or?
No,
wrestling.
it's not midgets, no. It's not little people, no. It's 1 o'clock or something.
Midget wrestling is good.
Yeah. This is regular size guys. I think it's 1 o'clock. I'll
always
look
fun
it up.
watching them get up in the
But
ring.
it is this weekend.
What was a TV show called Little People, Big World or something like that? My
Yeah.
mom would
Yeah.
always watch that, and I couldn't remember the name of it, and I asked her, are you still watching your short stories on TV? She knew what I was talking about.
Now, this person, they say, looks a lot like me. Vincent D'Onofrio. Law and Order, Jurassic World.
Before or after the dinosaur?
I've had people say that he looks like me.
60.
Higher.
64.
Higher.
72.
No, lower.
69.
Lower.
That's my number.
67.
Just a little bit high.
Technically, 2 people can have that number.
Oh, yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Just a little high.
What'd you say?
I said 67.
Yeah.
68? No. Math, hard. 67.
What's hard?
No, 67 is what I said.
Oh, you're stealing Jerry's number.
66.
66. There you go.
Gotta love it.
Where'd you give us
Jerry's
the
made look how ready he is.
It's so easy.
To go down to the rabbit hole.
But it's so easy to get, you're thinking about it, you think, oh no, that was
Well,
right.
Joe Davis did it the other day, didn't he? He didn't even let me finish. He went the wrong way.
Yeah, well, he wanted to pounce on the answer.
Yeah.
And he pounced on the opposite side.
He was wrong. All right. Mr. Tom.
Yes,
with
sir.
Chain Connection.
Uh-oh.
Would you like to go first or pick your column?
I would like to pick my column and then also remind people viewing that you can sign up to win our free emergency home kit by going to our webpage, cc-ema.org, and you'll see the little link at the top. You can sign up, and we're doing the drawing on the 12th. But there's a mystery phrase you have to use when you answer the phone. If you get it wrong, we go on to the next caller. Speaking of next caller, I'll go column A.
Right. And I will tell you the phrase here in a minute. Because I said it to him the other day, and he just ignored me
The phrase.
on the phone.
You said the phrase.
Yep. And you ignored me. I said, I called you up. Here's the phrase.
I thought you called me up and you said some other words, which we probably can't use here, but
No.
okay.
I was very nice. But I did use the phrase, didn't I?
Son of a...
You said you want column A?
Yes, please.
All right, so Jerry, you're going first.
All right.
Just so you know, my
luck, Tom.
scores,
Good luck, too.
Michelle Tebow is watching.
my scores
She
on
signed
this.
up.
Column A, I got 75. Column B, I got an 80.
That's close.
So here we go. Column B.
Just so everybody knows, on my phone I have almost a minute lag. Go ahead.
Turtle W.
What was that?
Turtle W.
Turtle W.
Yeah, car guys like it.
Yeah, turtle wax.
Turtle Wax.
It's always on the Price is Right.
Wax M.
Wax motion. Quick one, wax on, wax off. Wax on. No.
Oh, Jerry's
It's a good pickup line.
Wax mitt, I guess.
wax mitt.
Wax mitt.
Is that what they use when they apply the wax
Yeah.
before they strip it off?
Yeah.
All right, Tom,
Wax
here we go.
mitt.
Recycled pea.
Paper, recycled paper.
Okay. Turtle wax, wax MU.
Mustard.
Munch.
I think mustache right off the bat, but
Wax mustache. Well, that might make some sense.
I don't know. Wax museum.
Okay.
Wax Museum is right.
Not bad.
Museum G.
Museum G.
Yeah.
G string.
You thinking about your recycled over here?
Elon's watching.
Chris Walls, how you doing? Museum G.
Hello, Chris.
What? No, this is probably Three Blind Mice, isn't it? I'm thinking a museum guide.
All right. Recycled, not paper, but PL.
Plastic.
Plastic.
Plastic is right.
I helped you out now.
Plastic S.
Straw.
Straw.
Eh.
Should go on paper.
Yeah.
Museum GL.
Museum GL. Museum.
This was a hard one for me too.
Museum GL.
It's not
Museum
glue, because it
Glock.
should be horse.
Glock. Glue gun.
No, that would be horse.
Oh, horse.
GL.
Yeah, glue gun. That's right. Gift shop.
The
Guide.
I needs to be in it.
Michelle's just full of answers this morning.
GL?
GL.
GL. I don't know.
Okay. Recycled plastic. Plastic SU.
Sucks.
All right, say that. I got to draw it out because Michelle takes a
There
little
it
time.
is.
Surgery, yes, surgery.
I'll give it to you, surgeon, yeah. All right. Surgeon G.
General.
General, right?
Now, which one was that? Was that the other one or the current one?
What's that?
Surgeon General. Is it the gay one or is it the other one?
I don't know.
Or transgender?
They're both happy.
Yeah.
General A.
General who?
A.
I was thinking the Chinese food, but that's general attorney. No, it'd be attorney general.
Okay.
Dyslexic.
Turtle wax. Wax museum. Museum GLA.
Glass.
Well, Michelle's got museum glass. So I'm
So-
going to go with that.
That's what it is. Glass C.
It's not the four-letter word.
Glass case, glass case.
Yep. Case S.
Hillary liked that.
Case what?
S.
S.
Like stupid.
Case. Case S.
General anesthesia.
Huh?
That's what Kevin Martin
Case.
said.
Case solved. I don't know.
General AD.
Oh, AD.
Oh.
Jerry knows it.
Doesn't do Tom any good.
Where you at, Tom?
I'm right.
No, where are you?
I'm in a bar
And the bar is where?
Theater.
in a theater.
And what is?
You just might as well tell him.
I'm trying.
It's not Dora. General theater.
AD.
Auditorium.
Okay, we'll go General Auditorium.
That's AU. Math and spelling skills a little rough this morning. That's all right.
He works for the government,
That's why I
Charlie.
got a phone.
He works for the government. What can we say?
Did he get an on that?
Yeah.
General admission?
Uh,
Oh, now you say admission.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're over to Jerry, though. So, Turtle Wax Museum, Museum Glass, Glass CA.
I got that glass case.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
He's just trying to cheat.
Case ST.
Study.
Yeah, case study.
All right, for the win. Study H.
Hall.
Study hall. Study. Yeah, study hall.
Ding, 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 ding. Jerry is the winner today. So let's go back here. General ADM.
Admission.
There you
I
go.
tried, Tom. I tried hard.
67.
Admission T.
Ticket.
Test.
Ticket B.
Ticket.
Ticket B.
B.
Box office. Ticket box.
Ticket BO.
Box.
Nope.
I'm going to keep saying
Ticket booth.
Booth.
Ticket booth. There you go.
It's the same thing as a box.
Jerry's.
Jerry's on fire
Jerry's
this
was on
morning.
it.
Dying over
He's
here.
all,
I'm all choked up. I'm dying over here.
if you're qualified to get mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, stop over and see Jerry over here and get a donut while you're over here.
Oh,
Man.
yeah.
Close at 10.
Probably got a donut cut in his throat.
And with that, it's time to go to break. There you go.
You just want to stuff something in your mouth, don't
That's
you?
right. I do. Ah.
Who says living with labels is a bad thing?
Yeah.
Especially bright, easy to read labels with a large font.
When one man's drinking fountain is another man's bidet.
I'm Amanda Martin.
And I'm Steve Burnett.
All the pretend news to fill your day.
Trust your most unreliable source.
The Murphy Report. Made up stories almost like these and real stories on what's coming to the Murphy.
Ohio's hometown theater in downtown Wilmington.
Every Monday morning on the Murphy Theater website and our YouTube channel.
You know, Amanda, I label just about everything in my house, even my clothes, even my shoes. One shoe I have labeled R, and the other shoe I have labeled NR.
NR?
Not right.
You're not right.
The Murphy Report. Remember, if it's news to you,
It's news to us. They said it could never happen. They hoped it would never happen, but now the most unpopular vegetable in the soup family is getting her own talk show.
that's right, coming this fall on the Food Channel, it's The Okra Show.
I'm Amanda Martin.
And I'm Steve Burnett.
Celebrity gossip and other stories that matter the most, plus what's coming to the Murphy Theater on the weekly edition of The Murphy Report.
It's what we dish up for you. When you hunger and thirst for real journalism, look elsewhere.
But you can find us at themurphytheater.org or the Murphy Theater YouTube channel with a new news report every Monday morning.
You know, Amanda, I used to have my own morning talk show.
Oh, why'd you give it up?
Well, there was a little dispute at the time of my contract renewal.
Oh, what was the disagreement?
Well, I wanted to renew, and they didn't.
What'd they replace you with?
A half-hour infomercial on nail clippers.
When you have to know before anybody else, count on your one source for useless, made-up news, The Murphy Report.
Remember, if it's news to you,
It's news to us.
Roller Haven is located at 1640 U.S. Highway 22 Northwest, Washington Courthouse, Ohio. The perfect place for a day out with the family, birthday parties, and even an organization, event, or fundraiser. Check out our website, rollerhavenwch.com. Or give us a call at 740-335-6481 and we can help plan your event. We look forward to seeing you there.
Local museum presenting workshops on aging, yet they won't offer a senior citizens discount.
Pass the cottage cheese and applesauce. It's time to stop the irony.
I'm Amanda Martin.
And I'm Steve Burnett.
Made up stories we'll get to the bottom of.
And some stories we're on top of, if that's your preference. In-depth, behind-the-scenes coverage.
Can only be found on The Murphy Report. Visit us at themurphytheater.org and our own YouTube channel with a new report every Monday morning.
Hey, Amanda, speaking of old, did you know that I recently celebrated a birthday?
I did, Steve. Who do you think called the fire truck when we lit up the cake? Did you make a wish before you hosed down all those candles?
I did. I wished only good fortune for all of my coworkers.
And yet you're still here.
The Murphy Report. Remember, if it's news to you,
it's news to us.
All right, we are live. Yes, we have an announcement this Wednesday. We will announce, quite possibly on this show, who the next Wilmington College women's basketball coach is.
Yep.
Yeah.
We will
And
see.
coming shortly, there will be someone from Wilmington College that will be appearing on the show at probably 2 weeks. A week from this, the 4th of July, obviously, because we're not on the air. We got to remind everybody we are not on the air this Friday. And I don't think we're going to do Rock the Block this year. Charlie's disappointed, you can tell, with his thumbs up.
I'm quite all right with that. I mean, if it's just you and me and Jerry and Rick Morton.
Oh, you don't want to bring in Riding the Wave with Dave?
Well, hell, he was never there. He's always talking about his SUV, his grocery getter.
Oh, I don't think that he'd be bringing that back. Well, I guess he would be bringing that back because he drives it all over the place now.
All right, tomorrow on the show, if they don't forget, we're supposed to have Robo Pizza. Oh, yeah.
Garlic for Charlie.
I am excited about that.
I heard they did away with the garlic.
No, they bring samples and it'll be good stuff. So if you're bored, stop in.
Well, tell me about this Robo Pizza.
Robo Pizza is a food truck here in Wilmington. They set up a lot of times just out in front of their house over. It's like across from the cemetery. They live back in that subdivision.
Yeah.
Good pizza.
People are just dying to get it.
Good
They are.
pizza.
Yes,
I'm
they
telling
are.
you. It
Well,
is.
that's where they go afterwards.
Oh, okay.
On
I'm gonna
Wednesday,
get sued.
we're supposed to have Bill Lehrman but Becca's supposed to come in too. Becca, as in Sean's wife, Becca. So
Bennett.
Sean's
Becca
on there.
Bennett,
Good morning,
BB.
Sean.
And you don't know about this one yet
How do you know?
because I haven't told you.
Well, how do you know? I mean, no.
Brian Georges will be on Thursday, who's on the fair board. So we'll get somebody in here to tell us a little bit about what's going to be happening at the Clinton County Fair. So,
That'll be interesting.
yeah, we got a full lineup this week, which is good because it's been slim pickings last week. Just to let you know where DJ service is going to be. Tuesday night, we are going to be in Blanchester, weather permitting.
Chubby's.
Thursday, we'll be at Fresh Pizza and Cream in Sabina. Friday, we're doing double duty. We have the Blanchester Car Show from like 9 to 3. Then we have the fireworks out here at the Denver Williams Park from 4:30 with the food trucks till about 8 o'clock when the community band starts.
Oh, I thought the fireworks were going to be choreographed to your DJs.
Yeah.
No? No? Well, that would be interesting.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
Who's doing the fireworks this year?
I assume it's Rossie's like always. Stouts. What?
They're getting that drone show pretty good. They're doing a drone show now.
Now, do you know why they're doing the drone show?
Probably to get away from the fireworks.
The tariffs. Because of a lot of the negotiating that's going on, the price for fireworks is going sky high. Plus, this is America's
No pun
250th anniversary next year.
Next year, yeah.
So if you haven't already got your order in for fireworks, you might have some issues, or the cost is going to be really, really high.
For next year.
Yep. They're already out that far. That's how big of an event the 250 is going to
Rossi
be.
makes their own fireworks though.
Not necessarily. They bring the stuff in that's already mostly done, and then they do their own packaging.
Yeah.
for their launches.
Okay.
So
Saturday, we're going to be at Stoutsville, Ohio. You ever been to Stoutsville?
I may have been. Is
What's
that Highland
important
County?
about that?
We got a car show there.
What's
Saturday.
important about that?
It's my schedule this week. I'm just telling you where I'm
I
going to be.
thought there was something important going on in
Well, yeah,
Stoutsville.
I'll be there.
All right.
Yeah.
Saturday, 9 to 4. That's a long one.
We go out of our way to get him out of town.
Well, Stoutsville is just above Circleville.
But he keeps coming back.
That's right. It's like a bad cold. It's
Yeah.
like a bad cold. All right. So, I know what I was going to look up. I haven't looked it up yet. Go ahead, Jerry. You got something?
Well, coming up in July, we've got the movies at the Murphy that are going to be the matinees. They're going to have the free Wednesday matinees, and on July 2nd, the Surf's Up. On July 9th, it's Lilo and Stitch. And the Big Hero 6 will be on July 16th. July 23rd, you're going to have Shrek. And July 30th, Robot. And those are free right here at the Murphy, the matinee.
Thank you, little Steve.
Yeah. I promised to help Steve out.
Hello, Steve. Oh, my
And
God.
Steve will probably be in tomorrow.
Well, Rick Morton will be in tomorrow, too. I should have mentioned that.
Yeah, I promised to help Steve out.
Now, I want you to, I already said this to him once. I ain't get crap. Well, I got some donuts today, so I appreciate that. But I am getting ready with Clinton County EMA.
Right. So, reminder to that free emergency home kit that you can win. When we do the drawing on Saturday, the 12th of July,
Getting ready with Clinton County EMA.
that is what you have to answer the phone with, not hello, but
I'm getting ready with Clinton County EMA.
So do we call you or do you call us?
I called him and I didn't get shit.
I've got over 500 people that are signed up so far. We're going to randomize the list, and we're going to start at number 1, and I'm going to call from an unknown number.
Well,
And
that's not going to come up. Whoa, no.
yeah.
No.
So we're going to have to
No.
answer our phones.
You have to answer every phone call on the between 9 o'clock and 12 o'clock
like
on
that.
Saturday.
That's really good.
I'll be DJing. I won't even hear my phone ring. And the reason I put it like this, see, if you call, then that will come up. So,
Yes, well, you just lost out, Charlie.
well, I've already said it 4
you got
times.
tricked.
I still haven't got
You got-
anything.
you got duped.
I'm getting ready with Clinton County EMA.
I've got 10 burner phones that I've got set aside for like emergency use in case phone systems or whatever. And so we're going to be calling from that. And there's a lot of people out there that'll let it go to voicemail. We'll check voicemail and then call back. That won't count. You've got to answer the phone and you say, I'm getting ready.
with Clinton County EMA.
Because we did something like that last November when we did the turkey drawing.
So how many did you say you have in queue?
Over 500.
So it's going to be like 300-400 people down before someone finally answers correctly.
Probably.
So what
Because
happens
most
if
people
I
do not
set
answer?
my answering machine for I'm getting ready with the
Clinton County EMA.
Rules say you have to answer the phone. But it would be funny.
But
if-
how would you know?
You know what?
Because Jerry sounds like a tape machine.
Hi, you have talked to Jerry on the phone about baseball cards or car show and DJ.
I'm getting ready with Clinton County EMA.
Charlie, you might as well forget it. You're not going to win.
I can't win.
And we're going to do live also on Facebook, so it's going to be a little fun to kind of watch it. And this goes back when Howard Stern was doing his radio program.
Is that
And
the
they had
one where they had the girl
Baba
sitting
Booey,
on
Baba
that
Booey, Baba
device?
Booey. No,
What's that called?
The bass speaker.
What's that called?
Bass, yeah.
The bass
But
speaker.
they would have to say Baba Booey, Baba Booey, Baba Booey when they would answer the phone.
I thought it was the other thing they
So
did.
for a time back in the 80s and early 90s, that's how people were always answering their phone. Because you would just randomly dial a number in the New York area, and you could win over like $1 million.
Oh, well, that would be worth it.
Yeah.
So what do they win if they answer correctly?
Well, they get
An
a
emergency
free
management
emergency kit. It's got a 30-day supply of food, emergency food that you can send on your shelf for 25 years. It's got containers for water, first aid kit, batteries, lights, phone charger. It's got all kinds of things.
Charlie looks bummed out.
I am
Charlie's
bummed
bummed out.
Because at 9 to noon, I'll be like setting up and doing DJ stuff. I won't be paying attention to my phone.
Well, I mean, we'll be thinking about you.
You snooze, you lose, Charlie.
I even said it the other day when I called him. I said, I'm getting ready to Clinton County EMA. He's like, okay, well,
Yeah, whatever.
Another one of these calls.
No, I think he said, I'll get you some. That's what he said. Donuts today.
I got you donuts too. I even went to another county.
I know.
That's right. He
I
went
know.
Yeah.
way
The
out of his
donuts-
way
the
to get
donuts
donuts
were
for
good.
Charlie.
All right, so put in the chat where your favorite donut place is and why. My favorite place is Jackson, Ohio, a place called 4 Mile Bakery. The glazed rings are that big. They are good.
I never had that.
Number 2 is Jim's. It's going to be up in Vandalia. Old style donuts, very good. Coombs and White's, I think, are real close.
Bill's?
And then Bill's after that. Bill's not
Bill's,
bad.
is that Centerville?
Yes.
Yep. I've heard that they're good.
Hamburger wagon?
You've heard? You've never been there and had one?
I don't think so, no.
Are you?
I don't get to Centerville.
If you
not
like
allowed to go that
donuts-
far?
Yeah, I was up near there yesterday. I'm trying to go. My favorite bakery, just in general, but it's no longer there, was Alcar's, Washington Courthouse. Oh, they had good stuff.
Now, I remember Jean's when it used to be over on Prairie, and then they moved over here on this little split that goes from Wayne up to Maine. And then there's Fife's. I remember way back in the day,
Pfizer's.
Just right on
Remember
the inside there.
Pfizer's? Didn't Pfizer have a bakery? How you doing, Sean? Sean Bennett. Your wife's supposed to come back on Wednesday, reminder. Also, today is mine and Samantha Daly's rebirth day. We were baptized last year on this date. There we go. So happy rebirth day, Samantha
There you go, Jerry.
and
Yeah.
Michelle. Today is National Meteor Watching Day. Der Dutchman Plain City is Kevin's Donuts.
Now, I remember Der Dutchler that used to be in Waynesville, and that was a good family style Amish place.
I think it's the same thing. Der Dutchman, yeah.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, it was. It was. So there was a big asteroid last week. Did you see that? It was like down South Carolina, Georgia way. It's kind of scary because they'd already, we just bombed Iran, and then like 2 days later, here's this big
Well, they actually
asteroid flying out of the sky.
found parts of it that had gone through
Hit
a house.
yeah.
Yeah, and they're only little specks, because people don't realize when they
Burns
see
up.
these huge fireballs that it's all just little tiny particles that are burning up that create that fireball.
Yeah, it looked scary. It did, because in the middle of the day, I mean, it was bright, flashing.
I never did see how far into that house it went. I know it went through the roof.
No, it went. There were burn marks in the floor.
Oh, was there?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was contained within one of the interior walls, so I don't know if it's a double story, but it looked like it was kind of poking out. And to me, I would be asking, who the hell's shooting in my house?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Have we had anything like that happen around here?
Oh, I'm sure way, way back in the day before we had that Indian problem taken care of, there may have been something, but not recently.
No arrows.
No, I was just curious. I don't really remember anything like that happening around here.
But our time frame in the time of the world is just a small little sliver.
oh, I
Little
know.
sliver, Charlie.
But I just don't remember that happening around here. But doesn't mean it hasn't happened. The biggest one was in Arizona. Is that the one?
The biggest one was off the coast of South
Siberia.
America, wasn't it? The one that was
Oh,
the
just-
dinosaur extinction.
And kind
And
of caused the spreading of the continents.
Yeah. So that's the biggest one that I think that anyone has found any trace from.
I thought there was one
But
in Arizona.
there is meteor crater in Arizona, And it's fairly large. I think it's 2 miles across, something like that.
But it's really fortunate that the location that one hit, it was so close to where the visitor center was.
That's right, the visitor center's right there.
Otherwise, you would have to walk forever.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Well, when you go that way, you stop at the meteor crater, you go to the petrified forest. All that stuff is right there in that area right there in northern Arizona. But it's a fairly good
Crater
size.
Lake, I'm assuming that's how it got its name,
That was from a volcano.
that was volcano.
That was not a meteor.
I read something the other day about this lake. They have never found the bottom of it yet. It's so deep. I think it was in the United States somewhere too.
Well, it's kind of like when you go looking for something that's lost. It's always the last place you look.
That's true.
And the bottom is probably there.
Well, no, they said it's supposed to be a really clear lake too. It's somewhere out west.
Now, there is a place called the Big Blue Hole that is in New Mexico.
That might have been it.
And people go diving, but it's considered a high altitude dive because of the elevation that you're at. And it goes down 300 plus meters.
Really?
But you can't go down there without really special stuff.
Having the equipment to do that.
But it is very clear blue. Around here, all our water's brown because of all the silt.
You talking about diving, that it made me think about, and I can't remember where it was at, but they were talking about they had stopped people from diving around this coral reef because it was dying.
It was destroying it.
The coral reef was dying. They come to find out what was killing it was the sunscreen.
Because of the additives that's in it, and when you go into this area, there are only certain sunscreens that you can go into the water with that are biodegradable, and believe it or not, there's very few that actually fall in that category. Like banana boat, nope.
Huh.
It's bad stuff.
Now we're going to get sued for them from them.
All right. So what's our projected forecast? Do we got anything that's bad coming, or is everything good right now? I mean,
well,
what's the long term?
Do kind of a little back brief. Going into early last week, we had a couple of days we had the equivalent of rain that we would normally get within the month of June. We got that in just like 2 days. And then on top of that, depending upon where you were, you got from either 1.5 inches to 2.5 inches. And I've even seen a little higher just to the southeast of Midland. But the problem is when you look at radar data, it's really hard to estimate the vertical integrated liquid calculations that are used to identify approximately how many inches of rain, because when you have a hail core in there, that throws off that total.
Okay.
And a fun fact, if it hails, they have to consider that and count that as snow.
Really?
Yeah. Kind of an interesting thing. I was
not know that.
talking to one of the forecasters on Sunday and was kind of throwing around some questions and stuff, and I threw my smart-ass question as to what's the possibility of snow next week, and she laughed and she told me, well, we could get some hail, but that chance is decreasing today. We're in a marginal risk area for severe weather, so that's thunderstorm winds up to 58 miles per hour. Hail risk is almost all the way to the floor. The same thing with tornado risk. So we're just looking at the possibility of something spinning up, throwing down a lot of rain. So if you're in one of the areas that received a lot of rain a couple of days ago and your ground is saturated, that means any additional rain that we get on top of it really isn't going to have a place to go. So just be aware of that. If you had flooding in your basement, again, just take things off the floor just in case it does flood again. Check your insurance. Most places won't cover that type of coverage, so you have to have flood insurance, and that's
federal.
That's federal, and that's expensive, and you'd be amazed at how little that actually covers. So the best thing to do is just make sure that you protect your windows. So if you have those window wells on your basement windows and stuff, sandbags, plastic. The important thing is get the plastic down first, then put your base of sandbags, roll the plastic over, and put more on top of it. That way it isn't going to soak through the sandbags and then come through on the other side.
Another FYI, I guess yesterday was the last day that you could get breakfast at the Route 73 Grill.
Yeah, I heard that.
And of course, they are opening the new Blackbird, which
When's
is in
that
the
happening?
old Bogart's location. And I don't know when they're opening, but maybe now. Maybe they're they're going to be open now. But that's where breakfast will be being held now. So you got to go to the Blackbird if you want breakfast, and also, and I don't know what is it just where the old Broush Brewery was located. They opened this past week for their brouhaha, and it looked like, from what I could see, anytime I was out that way, because I live over on that side of town, that they were very busy. So obviously, it looks like Brad from the Cava House has got another successful restaurant on his hands.
Now, is that the place is supposed to be kind of like primarily a steakhouse?
I don't know what they have an upscale menu, from what I understand. I don't know what actually is on the menu, and it's probably online, knowing Brad. But they're sort of like a tin cap type of operation. They're brewing their own pale ales and various sundry alcoholic beverages, adult beverages as we call them. But they're also they've brought in a new menu, and so I don't know. I don't know whether the people that are actually doing the brewing are in a partnership, because it appears like Brad, they have partnered with this other company that does the actual brewing and has brought in, the equipment. Although Broush was actually brewing, so they're probably using a lot of their same old equipment. I don't know. But if anybody out there has had a chance to eat there or drink some of their pale ale, I would be interested to see what the reviews are.
Talking about cooking out there, I didn't realize it out there at the county office. You guys have got a full kitchen out there. I did not realize that. I guess they must have served food at Southern State when it was Southern State.
Yeah, well, Southern State had its cafeteria type setup, just like anywhere else.
But if you want to learn a little bit more about like the beers and stuff like that, there's a lady, her name is Ashley Rose, and she used to work here at the Farm Bureau, but now she's with the Ohio Association of Independent Brew Pubs or something like that, and she does a lot of work with those types of different places. Yeah.
She's from Indiana?
I know. Well, I think she lives a little bit toward the Sabina side. I'm not sure. I've never cruised by her house.
Yeah, right.
I'm doing storm damage stuff, so but
Yeah,
that would be someone to talk to that would really know about the beer places and stuff. She even had a beer podcast for a while that she had me on.
Really?
Except I was doing whiskey while she was during COVID. You couldn't go anywhere, or you weren't supposed to go anywhere. And
See, we just drink Diet Coke and Coke Zero and donuts. We keep it.
We could do a donut podcast.
Hey, there we go.
ooh,
Are you on a delivery route with Coke?
no. My wife and I, when we have a date day, because we're old, we don't do date night. We do a date day, and we'll go up. We'll hit Costco, Menards, Bill's Donuts, all these different places up around Dayton. We'll eat different places and stuff. There's a place up there called Mission Barbecue. If you haven't had or stopped there before, it's put together with some folks with some military background, and they do a lot of stuff with veterans organizations, and it's good.
So, Costco or Sam's, which is the one to go to?
Costco.
What is your specifications? Do you want bulk, good quality, or do you want best price and selections? Because you can't always have both.
You can't always get what you want, Charlie.
I want the most reasonable price.
Yeah, Charlie's a cheap.
All right. Costco is going to be good quality stuff at a good price.
Okay.
So, for instance, looking at gas, we got gas on Saturday. It was 54 cents cheaper at Costco than it was in Bellbrook.
Yeah. Well, we went to Sam's yesterday, and we could have got it like 40 cents or more cheaper. So, I've never been in a Costco.
Yeah,
So
I prefer Costco to Sam's.
You've never been to
and I like
Bill's? You've
Sam's
never been to Costco's? Well, you like selection. You like more options and
I
stuff.
like Sam's. I like going with it.
But Costco has a lot of
So Sam's
really
has more
good prepared
selection.
foods. If you go back to their prepared food section at Costco, they got all kinds of stuff that all you got to do is pop them in the oven and you got a meal.
Now, on the bakery side, I like Sam's better. Costco tends to be way undersweet and just,
Those pies at Sam's, my God, they're like, if you buy everybody in them, they're like that freaking big around.
We used to get the lemon bar cakes. Oh, those are good. I like lemon.
But I always had both.
And
Sam's
you can't
and
beat Costco's hot dogs. Their price. They got good food if you want to just go there and do nothing but eat.
Well, there's a whole long story. For the longest time, shareholders wanted to increase the price for the hot dog deal.
Right.
And
CEO said,
they said,
not
Costco
having
said
any
no.
of that.
So they bought out an operation and they produce their own hot dogs. That is something that is like a loss leader, but that gets people in the doors. You can't buy the same hot dogs that they sell there in the back though.
Yeah, that got great food. Pretzel, soft pretzels.
And you don't have to
pizza.
have a membership to eat at the food bar.
You just walk in.
Okay.
But you got to walk in on the out way, like you're going to the customer service desk. Now they have you scan in your ID cards.
So what does it, what's it run like a membership at Costco?
It depends on what level. You can get like 99, but we're executive level members because we make enough money back that it pays for a membership every year and then some.
So how often do you go there?
About every other Saturday, at the least, sometimes every Saturday.
So do
just-
you go to the one in
Centerville.
on Wilmington Pike?
Yeah, Centerville. That's the good Costco because of the way the parking is all set up. But if you go to the one down on Mason Erdel Road, down that way in Cincinnati, it's hard to get to. You actually have to go into Target's parking lot to get into their parking lot. And people, by the time they get parked, they are just angry and the layout is different. So we call that the bad Costco.
Bad Costco. Well, we always went to the one at Polaris up in Columbus.
That's a little ways to drive.
That's a good, well, we lived right there in Polaris, at Polaris.
Used to live
When I don't even go to. I think my home store is Loveland. No, it's not. It's Beaver Creek is my home store
for Sam's.
for Sam's, and I never go. I haven't been there in a year, and I bet I've bought $400 or $500
You buy
worth of
everything
stuff from
online and
Sam's.
have it delivered, don't you?
I buy it online and have it delivered.
What's the cost of delivery?
There's no
Nothing.
fun in that. The fun is going and discovering all the new stuff that they
Well,
have.
that is true. But you know, one thing that gets me with Sam's, I go like to Chillicothe. There's these little cheap cookies. They're $5 a bag, but they're good. They're chocolate chip cookies. Like yesterday at Beaver Creek, can't find them. And we went to Centerville's a couple times. Couldn't find them there.
Maybe they don't make them anymore.
And they had Sam's like diet iced tea, which is like Lipton. And I like it. It's just cheaper. Can't find it anywhere now.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've noticed over the years that if a lot of times things that they have at Sam's, they won't have at Walmart.
Well, and then
They don't
Walmart
care
has
that-
Sam's Pop, and then Sam's doesn't have their own pop.
I know. It's weird how they do that. It's like they don't compete against each other with the
Yesterday,
items.
we got 28 cans of pop for $13, and that was the Pepsi, zero stuff. That like 8 or what was it? 10. I don't know, 12 cans of just regular Pepsi, and then 8 cans of 12 cans of Pepsi Zero, 8 Pepsi Zero Cherry, then 8 Pepsi Zero with cream.
My mom says that people that drink Pepsi have low personal and social morals.
That's true.
But if you're on the YouTubes, there's a guy called the Deal Guy. And it's a little scrawny, nerdy kind of guy. And he'll do once a week different things on like Lowe's, what's on sale, what's new kind of stuff. Same thing for like Sam's Club, Costco. He's pretty funny, but we'll watch that and we'll say, hey, let's try that.
Yeah.
The Deal Guy.
The Deal Guy. And he is super nerdy. On Black Friday, he does all these different live things throughout the day, showing what's like on sale at Amazon that's real hot that day and stuff. He's always eating out of the back of his trunk out in the parking lot, trying, hey, I bought this new little thing from Costco, let's try it. And then people walk by and they're like, why is this guy eating out of his trunk? Is he homeless? What?
That's interesting. That's the Deal Guy. I have to remember that. So Costco is your place.
That's one of the places we were actually members for the longest time at both locations. We just found that we went to Costco more than we went to Sam's. Sam's had the better selection, the better options, but when you're looking for certain types of things in a certain quality, we found that Costco is usually kind of the place to go, like toilet paper.
It was,
You would think they would have the same packaging and the same number of rolls and stuff, but Sam's Club was different from Costco.
You
and
know,
it's-
they make specifically for
Yeah.
each one of those clubs.
It's like right now, the Cottonelle, the blue pack, the super soft or whatever like that, it's now $30 and change. I mean, it's popped up. But if you get the red pack, the strong, it's like $26 and change.
The red pack strong. It's
It's stronger.
Strong, weak.
So,
thin,
do you want
thick.
strong toilet paper or comfortable toilet paper?
I'd rather,
I want comfortable.
I'd rather have strong. There ain't nothing.
Are you a hard wiper?
It's just, nothing. I don't care for that
Jerry,
surprise.
Which direction do you wipe in?
Front to
From
back.
front to back or back
Always
to
front
front?
to back.
That's
Always
women.
front to back.
That's women. You got to worry. Women have to worry
That's
about
why
that.
Oh, gosh.
I'm gonna tell you what.
My boys are always brown.
I raised girls, and that was one thing. I still the granddaughter was like, it's front to back. Don't forget to wash your hands.
Oh, no.
But anyway,
Oh, help me, Lord.
no,
God.
I had back when my last ex-wife and I were together, we had the business.
The last thing.
We had. Well, I figured somebody'd say which one.
Number 4.
Which I figured somebody'd say which one. But we had both Sam's and Costco. And after we got a divorce, she kept membership to one, I kept membership to the other, so we just gave each other a card. So
So you still had 2
we
memberships.
still had 2 memberships. She had one, I had one.
Right. Was that in the divorce agreement?
She pays for one, you pay for the other.
Yeah. No, not really. It was a.
I don't even know how much it is. See, the only reason I joined Sam's last year when we went to the Blues Brothers Festival, we got like a year's membership for $30.
Yeah, it was cheap.
Yeah, it's not happening now.
Mine's over 100, but it renews. Mine renews automatically, so I anymore I
Well,
don't.
mine will renew pretty soon, I guess, but I don't know how much.
I think it
it's
was
gonna be.
115 or 100.
You think it's worth it?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
If you use it
Hell, I
as a
save
primary
enough in
shopping
gas.
place, yeah.
Yeah, and if you have no problem in buying in bulk, you know. But some of the stuff, like I said, the stuff back
We
there
buy
that's
mostly drinks.
pre-prepared foods, I mean, that's worth its weight in gold, you know, as far as the time it saves. And it's fairly good food and it's healthy. So it's not like it's a lot of junk stuff.
Yeah.
What do you guys say out there? You like Sam's or do you like Costco? If you got any suggestions? Because yeah, we're getting ready to renew our Sam's.
Joe
so
Davis is watching.
I'm thinking, should we go to Costco? You know, try it out. Where's the
Well,
closest
I think
Costco's?
can't you get a temporary membership for a day or something at Costco?
Yeah, you can walk in
I
and
think you can go
they'll
into
give you one for
Costco's
free.
and they'll let you go into, and at least you can go in and look.
See what it's like.
Yeah, yeah. You don't have to have a membership card to go in and look around.
But pick your time and date carefully. If you don't like people, you're going to find the people that you dislike the most. The people that stand in the middle of the aisle, block everything, and talk
Yeah.
to people. There are certain times of the day that you do not go. We go early on Saturday morning.
Well, you can go early through the week at Sam's because they got old people's hour.
Well, they've actually added. I
you
just
can go
heard
in
something
people's
this
hour.
morning
You-
coming in,
yeah.
where they were
If
saying
you're
that
a
they're
member-
there's
The
an
executive
hour,
members get in an hour early.
an hour early. Yeah, where they've
At
done
Sam's?
Costco.
that. At Costco. Yeah,
I think they both do that.
they're giving. Well, Sam's I think's done that for a long time
Yeah.
because when I had my Sam's membership, it was a business membership, and they had special business hours, like you went in an hour early on Saturday
Yeah.
morning and do your shopping, whatever. But I think Costco's just instituted something because I was listening on the radio coming in, and they said something about they're extending their hours or pushing them back an hour for executive
And when you're talking about, the topic of preparedness, kind of getting back to my world, is one of the best things you can do is always get a little extra something to put inside your pantry.
Right.
So that you have shelf-stable types of foods and stuff like that. So
Right.
when you're going to a Sam's or a Costco, whatever, and you buy like a plat of different types of soups and stuff, just make sure you put them in the back, you move the old ones forward, that you get a good rotation.
you
But
gotta
by doing a
rotate.
little extra,
rotate.
you can find that you can real quickly build up a week's worth of extra food.
So
in
is
case
it
something.
front to back or back to front?
When you're putting food into your shelf,
Back to front.
Back to front.
last in, first out. what you're looking at.
Vicky Kendall says Sam's. Stephanie Morton says, I like Costco. Rick Morton says, well, he would because Stephanie said Costco.
Oh,
Good answer, Rick.
There you go.
Yeah.
no love for Rick today.
Happy wife, happy life.
That's funny. That's funny. But yeah, tomorrow, Rick, don't eat much in the morning because Robo Pizza is supposed to be here.
Are they going to bring in the machine and show it in action?
No, they're actually,
They'll bring us some pizza.
they're going to bring us some pizzas tomorrow.
Usually.
But they can bring that from anywhere and just slide it in the box. I did that one year. I was going to a friend's house. This is back in the early 90s. And I was going to bring a couple of pizza over. And she goes, oh, are these Domino's pizzas? I said, no, I just reused the box. I made the pizza myself. She goes, this is damn good pizza.
Ah,
It was Domino's.
it was Domino.
Yeah.
Of course it was Domino. What'd you expect?
Were you trying to impress a woman?
What,
No,
Domino's?
I was going over to a friend's house.
Oh.
And, yeah.
Well, I think Domino's has got a stuffed crust pizza now with garlic salt or something like that, Charlie. Have you seen that?
Yep. Pizza for breakfast is so good. That's what Rick Morton
Is that cold pizza? Is
Is
what
that
you're
cold
saying, Rick?
pizza or
Well,
hot pizza?
You can even put it in microwave for about 30 seconds to get it like warm.
Yep.
And it's good, but I think it was the advent of the pizza places that cut down on younger people from drinking coffee. Because think about it, you got leftovers the next morning, what are you going to drink with it? Soda,
Right.
pop, whatever.
Yeah.
You're not going to drink coffee.
Young people eat a lot of pizza in the morning.
True. Well, it used to be a show on ESPN2. That's what they called it. It was called Cold Pizza. Boomer Esiason was one of the hosts on it. I remember that.
I bumped into him one time. I was going into McDee's, and I bumped into him, and I looked him right in the chest, and I said, excuse me, he is tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
He's a tall fella.
Well, they used to be here with the Bengals every summer. I actually got to work her camp, which was fun. Because I just guarded the locker room, but all those big behemoths kept walking by me every day. Clyde Finley's watching. How you doing, Clyde? We're just about ready to wrap things up. Like I said, we got Robo Pizza tomorrow. And hopefully Tom hadn't scared anybody with his warnings or anything. But he's trying, he's meaning the best. So, and what's everybody supposed to say? When you call them on Saturday morning?
I'm getting ready with Clinton County EMA.
And you're not going to call on the right phone.
That I am going to call on the perfect phone, a phone number that no one else is going to know.
A burner.
That's
Yeah.
a bunch of crap.
And that's on Saturday, the 12th of July.
Oh, so we got another weekend.
Yeah, so, and we get a lot of great sponsors, Lowe's, Ace Hardware, Walmart, Allstate Insurance, different groups, CVS, they're all kicking in, like, first aid kits and stuff like that. So we've got a real good kit to get you started.
I've already said it 4 times, but all it got me is a couple of donuts. Now I'm getting tired because those donuts are like
He's another
settling
pick me up.
in.
Charlie, did we have a word of the
Yeah,
day?
we have a final thought. And since we were talking about beer earlier, I bought this sign over the weekend that it's a metal sign, but I thought it was pretty funny. It's a Ben Franklin quote. Beer is proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy. Ben Franklin. Ben Franklin's got a lot of funny stuff. Beer is proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy. So with that, thanks for coming in.
Pleasure, thank you.
Thank you for being here,
And,
Tom.
Thank you, Jerry.
Do you want to schedule today for another day?
Let me do it when I have my calendar in front of me so I
yeah.
can make sure
This
I
time you'll make sure he's
make
here.
it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that might have been my fault. I'm not putting you completely on the hook.
Don't
here.
forget this Friday, we are not on the air.
Yep, no show Friday because of the 4th of July.
But you are doing the night before where?
Yeah, the night before we'll be. And if you ever want to come down there, you're more than welcome. Good food. If you like good pizza, there's some good
We
pizza.
came in the Memorial Day weekend. We're there just the day after you were up there.
Yeah. Have you say you've eaten there?
Did you see the brown streaks?
I did not. Maybe they cleaned it. We stopped and we decorated the funeral plot for my grandma and grandpa. Then we stopped over there and got something to eat.
It's a good place. Get your fried bologna sandwich.
No, I did not.
That's good stuff.
I am bologna. That would be cannibalism.
We'll be at Fresh Pizza and Cream Thursday night, 5:30, 6:30. We'll have a little cruise in there if it doesn't rain. But it seems like about every Thursday night it's flipping raining. We've had 3 so far this summer out
think
there.
God's trying to get you to take the hint.
That's right.
Well,
Give
we
it up.
do. We're going to be there anyhow, so it doesn't make any difference. But anyhow, everybody have a
everybody.
great day.
Bye.